Welcome to My Business Matters, the Michigan Chamber podcast.
Hello, I'm Jim Holcomb, President and CEO of the Michigan Chamber, and welcome to today's podcast. We're going to be talking about an exciting new initiative that's coming to Michigan in 2024, the National Civics Bee. I'm really excited today to have a couple great guests discuss this topic. We have Tess Ulrey. She's with the Boys and Girls Club of Southwest Michigan, also a longtime civics booster, and Becky Burtka, the Vice President of Member Engagement for the Michigan Chamber. Ladies, welcome. I think where we could start on this today, Tess, before we get into actually the Civics Bee, can you tell us a little bit about your organization and the work that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for having the Boys and Girls Club on and letting us be a part of this. We're really excited. So the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Southwest Michigan, we are headquartered in Benton Harbor, but actually serve 11 sites throughout Southwest Michigan. We have our members, we call them, our kids in our community that range from ages 6 all the way up to 18. In the last couple of years, our civics program has really, really grown with our teenagers, and we're so excited to start moving that work into middle school as well. A lot of times as grown-ups, I don't think we give kids enough credit for how much impact they can have on their community, and we're just so grateful for opportunities like this.
Oh, that's great. I completely agree with you. I think far too often we kind of exclude younger individuals from the discussion of what the impact in their community could be. And items like the Civics Bee are just a perfect example. And Becky, we're so excited that the National Civics Bee is coming to our great state in 2024. Can you tell us a little bit about how this came about and what it means?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Jim. So the Michigan Chamber Foundation is partnering with the U.S. Chamber Foundation to launch the Civics Bee here in Michigan. The U.S. Chamber has offered this as a pilot program in a few states for the last couple of years, but it's really exploded in the last few months here, and they've gone from 9 states to 22 states, so we're very excited to be a part of those 22 states, offering a Civics Bee to middle schoolers across the state. We are really looking forward to engaging those middle schoolers in civic and government engagement when it comes to learning a little bit more about how government functions, because an educated voter is an engaged citizen, and really finding a niche for those middle school students where they may not have another opportunity to learn a little bit more hands-on. And I think that's part of why we're very excited to partner with Tess, too, because they have such a robust program down in Southwest Michigan, and it's a really unique synergy that we can have here in Michigan.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. It's so exciting when we find ways for different groups and organizations to partner together, and certainly civics is a huge issue for all of us right now. I think we all see that civility is breaking down, and just civics education, understanding what are the rights and responsibilities of being a citizen and trying to do that and teaching it to young kids is so important, because as they grow up, they need to make sure they have that information so they can be productive citizens. Can you tell us a little bit, Becky, on the logistics? How does this work?
Yeah, absolutely. So this starts in November. So November 13th is coming up, where middle school students are asked to write a 500-word essay. So any 6th, 7th, or 8th grader across the state, doesn't matter where they live, can submit an essay through one of our local chamber essay portals. So we've partnered with 6 different local chambers across the state. We have Battle Creek Chamber, we have Canton Chamber, Chaldean American Chamber of Commerce, Grand Rapids Chamber, Jackson Chamber, and the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber. And you can find all of those on our website at michamber.com/MICivicsBee, where we will have buttons and functions that they'll be able to search for those local portals. They start with an essay and describing an issue that they see in their community that could be fixed or remedied either through civic engagement or how government could assist them in creating something. For example, there was a student last year who won the Iowa State Bee that talked about bike lanes and how she could use her local government to assist in creating a bike lane so that her family could ride their bikes to the grocery store. So it could range from a number of things. But they start with that Civics Bee, or that essay portion, and then on January 8th, the portal closes, and each local chamber is responsible for judging those essays, and they pick the top 20 essays for each individual chamber and host their own Civics Bee in their local area. So again, that they can pull from students from all across the state, but they host in their area. Those local bees will take place anywhere from February to April. And then those top 3 students from each of those local bees will then come to Michigan for our Michigan State Bee, which will be held in Heritage Hall at the Michigan State Capitol in Lansing here, July 17th. And there we will have a state bee comprised of a quiz portion where students are asked questions in a multiple choice format. And then the top 5 from that cohort will be asked live questions about their essay and have more of an oral discussion with a panel of judges.
What a great, I'm just amazed. It's such a great program. I'm so glad it's coming to Michigan. Tess, you guys already have a lot of programming you do with young people. How do you see this connecting with people within your area in that 6th, 7th, 8th grade age group?
Yeah, so we have done, I think like a lot of organizations, the majority of our civics and advocacy work has been with high schoolers. They're a little bit close to the voting age. And so for me, especially leading that program, understanding that our middle schoolers are watching and they're excited about it, this is just a way to start their conversation even earlier. In Southwest Michigan, we also have really, really great support from our local elected officials. They are in the club. The kids know them by name, depending on how cool they are, sometimes by first name. You never know. But just in the kind of preliminary discussions I've had with our middle schoolers, they are so excited that they just feel like this is a really, really validating way for them to address some things, that they feel are happening in their community. I love the idea of a bike lane. I did share that with our students. And I think what's also important is that because of their kind of understanding of what our high schoolers do, but also their engagement with our elected officials, they understand that there's even a lot of larger social problems that they can really have an impact on. Our organization, because we're all over Southwest Michigan, we have some of our members who are very rural families who are living, on farms out in the country. We also have a lot of members who are living in Benton Harbor, which has a separate set of challenges. So I'm so excited to see what our members come up with and how they can really have their voice heard in that capacity too.
Yeah, I'm always so excited whenever you get to talk to younger people, especially that middle school age group. Because they are getting more engaged. They have their own opinions. They have their own thoughts. As you said, they're paying attention to the news. They're watching what's going on in the world around them. And to give them an outlet to actually communicate, have an opinion, share it, and then compete, I think it's just a wonderful thing for them to show that what they can do growing as not only a student, but as a good citizen. As we talked about before, just being informed. I think far too much. A lot of our civility problems is because there are so many people uneducated, and it becomes an emotional argument instead of an argument based upon fact and what are the founding documents and what is society really supposed to be. Becky, can you tell us? We talked a lot about 6th, 7th, 8th, and I know you have local chambers who are involved. If somebody doesn't live in the community where the local chamber, can they still participate, or what if you're a homeschooled student?
That's a really great question. So yes, definitely. We are casting the net across the entire state of Michigan, so UP included, even though some of the bees are more located in southern Michigan, anybody can participate. So we are talking to the public schools, private schools, charter schools, homeschool network. Anyone who fits into that middle school age of 6th, 7th, or 8th grade is welcome to participate. There is no geographical barrier for any of the students. They will not be turned away. And so with that, too, once the portal opens on November 13th, there will be a button on our website that says Find a Bee Near Me. And students or parents even can click on that button and they can find maybe the closest bee to them located in Michigan, or one that might fit their needs better depending on when some of the bees are taking place in the spring. So we welcome any and all questions and happy to help as well. Try to locate some of those better places for students to participate.
And I know it's a competition. Are there prizes that are involved, or is this just for pride? What's the end goal as you're moving from the essay portion to the state portion to the national?
Absolutely. So there are prizes involved. They may vary by location depending on sponsorships, and we are definitely working with some of our partners on sponsorships and boosting those prizes. But at the very least, in the local bee level, there's a $500 cash prize for first place. And then at the state level, we will be offering at least $1,000 for our first place prize, $500 for second place, and $250 for third place. But what I failed to mention earlier, Jim, was that 2024 there will be the first ever National Civics Bee hosted by the U.S. Chamber in Washington, D.C. in October. And there, a student from Michigan who will make it to the National Civics Bee has a chance to win up to $50,000, in prizes. A combination of cash and other tangible prizes, but a really great opportunity to showcase some of Michigan's bright minds and send one of our very own to D.C. next year.
Yeah, that would be just a great accomplishment for anyone just coming through. I'm really hoping we get a lot of kids who are involved early and just having them share their thoughts and ideas. Tess, as I looked at this, one of the things that really concerned me is some of the statistics that we see. Maybe approximately 80% of eighth graders are not proficient in civics, and nearly half, actually 47% of all Americans aren't able to name the three branches of government. Do you think something like a civics bee is going to help with these problems of people not having enough information or not being educated enough on what civics is and how it's important to them?
Absolutely. I think there's a misconception, both with grown-ups and with kids, that, civics just means who's the president or something like that. Mm-hmm. It is a large network of support for us as people, as a community. And I think when we start talking about civics in ways that, address tangible problems in our community, it becomes a much easier message to digest and frankly makes people curious too. And that kind of inspiration and curiosity part is the piece I'm most excited about.
Yeah, it's really great when you see that light bulb go off in a young person's eyes and they start talking about something and they get a little momentum and their thoughts come out. I'm going to be interested to see and read about some of the essays that come and some of the great ideas. Becky, where should people go for more information?
Absolutely. So definitely check out our website at michamber.com/micivicsbee. There will be student flyers, teacher flyers. We have all of the local chambers linked there as well, so all of those local partners that we're working with who are hosting those local civics bees. Those local civics bees and those websites are where students can find the portal to submit their 500-word essay. And as I mentioned, we're working with a variety of school groups as well as legislators to get the word out. So there will be a number of ways that students and teachers will be interacted with to heighten the awareness and get folks to submit those essays. But again, if there are any questions, we have an email linked to the website as well, and folks can reach out to us, reach out to their legislators, because as we're engaging everyone, we will be pulling in as much information and resources as we can to guide folks in the right direction.
I would suggest to anyone listening to the podcast too, it's kind of fun if you go to the website. I think you'll find a 15-question quiz on there that's always kind of interesting to test your own knowledge. Questions such as how many Supreme Court justices do we have, or what branch of government regulates commerce? What year was the Constitution written? A lot of things that many of us have already learned previously, but it's always good to have a little refresher course and something to update our own knowledge. Tess, anything we haven't talked about, or any Anything you want to add as we kind of draw to a close here?
I think that knowing just kind of already some of the ideas that are coming out of our members at the Boys and Girls Club, I would encourage people to stay connected and really read and, be invested in this process, even if maybe there isn't a middle schooler in their life or someone that they know, because I think it's such a great resource for everyone.
Yeah, great. And unfortunately, as always, time seems to go by too fast on these podcasts, but a very special thanks to Becky and Tess. And thank you all for listening, and make sure to spread the word about the importance of the Civics Bee and drive people to the website so they can check it out for themselves. We want to make sure that every middle schooler in Michigan knows about it and has the opportunity to enter. Tune into our next episode, subscribe and like our podcast to receive notifications. Until then,